Hi, it's Julie Hollinger, and I am the Programs Manager for the PMFRC Petawawa Military Family Resource Center, and I want to welcome you to our very first live fireside chat. This is a feature that we started last week, but we did it recorded. This is a live version. And what our goal is to come to you once a week and to tell you about some of the programs and services that are happening at the Petawawa Military Family Resource Center, to introduce you to some of the folks that are working behind the scenes. You may not see us because our doors are closed, but we are working and we really want to hear from you. And we wanted to just tell you what was going on and answer some of your questions. This is a Facebook Live broadcast. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, please add them to the comment section below. We are going to see them and we will try to get to as many of your questions as we can. I'm going to introduce my guests. I have a few people joining me here today. I have Annie Baudouin. Annie is the deployment coordinator. Francesca Alexanian. Francesca is the deployment programmer. I have Denise Ray from SISIP. And I have Claudia Beswick, the Executive Director of the PMFRC. Thank you, ladies, for joining me today. It's great to see everybody. Annie, let's start with you. We know that right now there are a number of people in Petawawa, CF members, who are getting ready for deployment. They are preparing to go somewhere, but they may not know where, they may not know when, but they are making those preparations. What is the PMFRC doing to help people get ready for those deployments?
So usually when a member or a unit is getting deployed, they have to do a DAG. So usually we'll either go to the units or we'll have the members coming to our office and we can do one-on-one DAGs. So we can't sign paperwork right now. We can't meet anyone. So what we decided to try, and it's working pretty well, is to do virtual DAG sessions. So we've been doing this for 3 weeks. It's going really, really well. You can find all the links to register. There's different timings. There's different days of the week. All of the May links are on our website, CAF Connection, in the calendar section. So if you're looking for them when you're looking on CAF Connection, you can find them on the calendar section. So we do them on Zoom or we do them on WebEx, depending on what's easier for you. So you can pick the link that you prefer. We gladly invite families as well. So if the members is at home and they want to invite their families so we can share the information with them and maybe answer some of their questions, please do so. We would love to have them too.
So if a member is looking for information on how they would DAG green, they would contact you to hook up with one of those sessions, correct?
They can just go directly on their website because they have to register. So basically the process is that when a member register, we have a list. So when they attend the DAG and then send us the family information form after that, we're going to send their names to their unit. So it's kind of like replacing our signature. So instead of having a signature saying, yep, the member DAG, we're going to send them an email when those 2 steps are done. If they call me or they email me, I'm just going to send them the link anyway. So if they cannot find the link, absolutely email me. I will definitely send them to you.
So we will put the link in the comments. So if you are looking for that, if you're looking for information about the DAGs and where you're going to find this list of workshops, we're going to add that to the comments so you can find it a little bit easier. Francesca, we know that once the members go, so the families need support. There's a lot of things that can come up and there's a lot of information they may be looking for. Can you tell us about some of the programs that we have available for the families of the members, sort of before the members deployed and also once that deployment happens?
So right now we're running virtual programs as we can't be in the same room. And so right now we've started Dare to Leap is a program we had before, but we've taken it virtually. And we're going to be running a series on gardening through Dare to Leap. And so it's all about starting your own garden at home and how to care for it during the summer. We're also running emergency preparedness. And so this series, we're going to talk about things like OPSEC and how to prepare your own emergency kit for disasters at home and that kind of thing. We also have Making Connections, which is a time where you can pop in and talk to other people going through deployment. And this is also being taken virtually, and we're going to be doing it through Zoom. All the registrations for these can be found on CAF Connection. And we're doing virtual office hours as well, which you don't have to register for. And they're on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and the links are up and around on CAF Connection, and you can pop in and you can talk to us and ask us any questions that you might have. And we can provide you with resources through that as well.
Perfect. Annie, we have PMFRCs have been involved in the schools for many, many years with the Children's Deployment Support Program. And unfortunately, what's happening right now is there's no schools. Can you tell us what's happening with the CDSP? Because we still have programs for kids to support kids, and how can we do that if we're not in the school?
Absolutely. So when the school shut down, we pretty much had to do the same thing. But since the school went virtually, we kind of did the same thing. So we want to make sure that the children are not missing out. So the main one is that right now the programmers that are doing the CDSP classes are moving virtually. So they have a newsletter that you can sign up for, and then you have like tons of exercise and activities and things like that that we used to do in schools, but now we'll be able to do at home. And also, because we're getting close to the end of the school year, we're going to bring our CDSP boosters that we usually do during the summer virtually. So mainly, so if the deployment is over the summer, school's over, we still want to keep contact with the kids and making sure that everybody's doing great. So we're going to do the boosters virtually. If the deployment goes into the next fiscal year and the kids are back to at school, please sign up for the new school year to register for CDSP. If they're not back to school yet, we'll get to there when we get there, but we're probably going to just keep doing all our activities virtually and things like that.
Keep an eye on these fireside chats. In a couple of weeks, the community engagement team is going to be joining us. They run the CDSP program, and they're going to give some more updates about what information we have at that time. But because we were talking about deployment, we thought it was important to just mention that because it is a question that we're getting. Denise, I know that SISIP is really involved with CF members in Petawawa and I guess across the country. What advice are you giving to members and to their families right now as they're getting ready maybe for a potential deployment? What would you like them to know?
Well, basically at SISIP, what we want to do is ensure that members are financially prepared and healthy before they deploy. So some questions that I like to make sure that they ask themselves. And I sort of tease that I'm the doom and the gloom here on the team as an insurance rep, but I want them to ask themselves, do you know how much life insurance you have? Do you know who your beneficiary is? Because that's a big one. A lot of the members have heard my stories before about someone passes away and then they find out they've got the wrong beneficiary and it's too late to do anything about it at that point. And you can imagine that it's hard to grieve for a loved one rather. It's traumatic experience, let alone find out that either they didn't have proper insurance or that it was the wrong beneficiary. So that's one of the big ones. But we also want to ask what happens, or ask yourself, what happens if my family had a financial emergency while I was away? So our financial counselor can sit down with people ahead of time and make sure that they're prepared for that. Whether they're single and maybe want to make sure all their bills are prepared, you've got your pre-authorized payments set up, or if a member's deploying and they're the ones who normally look after the household finances and now they're passing that over to a spouse and they just want some help on sort of taking on that new task. As well, a deployment, and not to always just be the doom and the gloom, but a deployment can also mean some extra monies. So we want to make sure that the families have given some thought to that. What do you want to do with it? It's easy to stick to a budget if you've got that goal in mind. And our financial planners are there to help out with that. They're all certified financial planners and they're familiar with the military pay system, the pension system, and they can help you with that. And we're not a commissioned salespeople. We're here to just make sure that you're taking proper care of your family and your finances. So give us a call. We're all working from home. We can do virtual appointments, phone appointments, whatever you'd like to do. And the SISIP office is open from 10 until 2 each day if there's an emergency that you need to drop off some paperwork. So I really encourage you, if you haven't already done so, get in touch with me before your deployment and make sure that you know what your SISIP coverage is and what benefits we can help you out with.
So if you're new to Petawawa, that SISIP office is in the Cannock. So the big Cannock that's on the north side of base is just as you walk in, the SISIP office is on your right-hand side. Denise, can you give us the telephone number?
It's 687-0025. And if you stop in at the Cannocks, it's also on our front door. So if you don't take that down right now, you can stop in and get it from the office door.
Going through and making those preparations and thinking about those what if scenarios, there's a lot there. And I mean, you can sort of go down a lot of rat holes about what ifs. And sometimes it's hard to think about, what do I need to know? What do I need to prepare for? And the PMFRC has been, over the last couple of years, has been working hard, and they've created the OP Family Readiness Binder. And it is our tool to help families think about those things going through that exercise. Francesca, can you tell us more about the binder?
Yeah, like you mentioned, it's a great place to start before you're deployed. It has spots to put in all your information, passwords to different accounts, and a great way to share information between spouses when you're going away. And it's just a nice place to start you on the road to being ready for deployment. Now we do have it normally available as an actual binder you pick up at our office, but we also have it available online as a flipbook PDF version. And to get that, you can just email us and we'll send you the link for it. And we've added to that, if you have an older binder, you might not have a section, it's pets and deployment. So we have that available to also send you that new section, and all of our newer binders have that in it.
That's a great resource. The other thing that we usually tell people to think about when they're thinking about deployment is thinking about childcare, the family care plan and their emergency childcare kit. Next week at 11:30, the people who are joining us are from childcare. So it is going to be Sue LeClaire and Angie, and they are the specialists on emergency childcare. So we are dedicating our entire fireside chat next week to emergency childcare and preparing in your family care plan. So join us for that. If you have questions ahead of time, send us those questions and we'll make sure that they answer them as we go along. Claudia, I have not forgotten about you. It's a tough time for folks. I mean, there's a lot going on. People are social distancing and they may feel isolated, and they may not be able to reach out to the support networks that they usually have. And when you've got those questions of deployment sort of hanging over your head and those uncertainties, it's tough. As we said, the doors to the PMFRC are closed, but mental health services are still available to families. Can you tell us more about how people could reach out and get access to that?
Absolutely. The mental health team is working at 100% right now. The clinicians are working directly with their clients, reaching out to them when needed, and our family advocacy coordinator, so Chris Quigley, who a lot of people already know, she is manning her phone and her email. So if there is anyone in the community that is looking for information about support services in the community, if they want to connect with her to make an appointment to see one of the clinicians, she is willing to do that. The intake is still the same. It can be done over the phone. It can be done virtually, so not in person, because she is also working from home. The clinicians are working with single sessions, so a little bit like the walk-in clinic where anybody can call and connect with a social worker, and it's a single session is what they call it, and they're very flexible with their timings as well. So if you need to reach out to the mental health team, then by all means you can access that through Chris, and I believe Julie's going to make sure the numbers are available. If you are not wanting to reach out to the mental health team, then that's fine. Everybody has options of who they want to connect with. The Padres office, they have somebody there every day during their working hours, so you can reach out to the Padres office. Family Information Line, which is a National Military Family Services support for all military families and members and veterans. They are 24/7. They're a bilingual service. You can reach out to them if you can't connect with us. There is a new text message service that is done with the Kids Help Phone in partnership with True Patriot Love, I believe. And that information is also available on the website. And of course, the Canadian Forces Members Assistance Program is there. All of them toll-free. Please access them if you need that kind of support. And if you are struggling with if you are challenged, and the member does not have to be gone in order for you to reach out to the deployment team. So I just want to be upfront about that if you think you're being deployed, if you think your spouse is being deployed, or there's an upcoming deployment, please reach out to the team. They are really going above and beyond trying to get supports in place for you. And part of that is if you're struggling with something and it's not necessarily mental health, but you want to try something new, something worked really great at another MFRC that you were at, let them know. We want to hear from you. We want to be able to put things in place to better support you. We really appreciate our base partners with SISIP joining us on this as well. it really is important for families to get the full picture of what it takes to kind of get through deployments these days.
They make an excellent point, because deployment support involves a lot of stages. It's before deployment, it's getting ready, it's during deployment. And we want people to keep in mind that even after deployment, when their spouse comes back and there's that adjustment period, and you may want to reach out to someone who understands that full sort of just deployment cycle, reach out to us. We are still there for you. Fittingly, it is Mental Health Month, the month of May. And we've got a couple of things that are planned for this month just to raise awareness about mental health. Do you want to give a little tip off onto that, Claudia? Or?
Sure. So this week, the mental health team was launching what they are defining as Mental Health Month. And they have two hashtags, hashtag Get Real, hashtag Kindness. That one is the Mental Health National Get Real, and the other one is a Europe one, which really resonates with what we're going through in this community with acts of kindness and what people are doing for each other virtually. So I think that that's important. And one of the things that we're posting every day is a mental health challenge. So they're going to be sharing some certain things that you can do. And I encourage you to check out the Facebook page. And one day it could be going for a walk. Another day it could be just meditating for a couple of minutes, but try it and let us know how you do. Share with us on the Facebook page. Was it helpful? Did it benefit you? What would you like to see? And if you share that with us, then I believe that they are going to put your name in for a gift basket at the end of the month. Some of the other stuff that they're planning will not necessarily be on Facebook, but our YouTube channel is pretty active. So maybe Julie can talk about that. But there's going to be one of the clinicians is going to be doing a meditation session. It's an audio session, so you can check that out. Two of the clinicians have worked hard on an emotional toolkit for youth. This was done also in collaboration with True Patriot Love. And this is specifically for the youth, and there'll be a session on how youth can deal with some of the challenges that are going on related to COVID. There is going to be some journal, I think, collecting journals, getting that stuff together, some art therapy type things. And just they're doing fireside chats as well. There's going to be 4 of them. These will be done on YouTube. They're going to be talking about personal couples relationships, that kind of stuff, talking about isolation for the single person, how challenging that could be during this COVID period. There's a session on mindfulness, and I believe there's one also for veterans. So stay tuned to the Facebook page. Please check out our YouTube channel. And a lot of this stuff is also available on the CAF Connection website. And we're going to try and highlight that a little bit more, given that month is the month of May is focused on mental health.
Keep an eye, we got a lot planned, and we're going to have one page on CAF Connection. We have all those resources together, so you can see everything in one glance. And I believe they even put a sneak preview of the entire calendar with all the challenges on Facebook. So go take a look at that. There's some really fabulous ideas. Mental health is going to be joining us. Like I said, these fireside chats are happening every week, and it's going to be our team, and we have had some fabulous community partners that have agreed to join us for different sessions. So we're very excited about being able to tell you more about what's available to you for the families in Petawawa. Next week, we are talking emergency childcare and childcare. We are going to have Angie Debarauji, and we are going to have Sue Leclerc. They are going to be here to talk about childcare, to talk about emergency childcare, to give you some advice on your family care plan. There's a lot of things going on there, a lot of questions. So they're going to be the folks to go to for that.
And I believe a Padre is going to join them as well.
There we go. And then the following week, the mental health team is going to be here. So come and join us, talk to the mental health team, find out what they have planned. We can talk a little bit more about the week. We have someone from Health Promotions that's going to be joining us as well on the 20th, as well as somebody from the Family Information Line that we were talking about earlier. They are coming too. So every week, every Wednesday at 11:30, we are going to give you a couple of days notice of who the guest is for that week. If you want to give us your questions in advance, we will be sure to work them into the plan. If you don't have a question in advance, but as you're watching us, you have something pop up, put it in the comments, we'll go from there. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for our first live fireside chat. Thank you to Francesca and Annie and Claudia and to Denise. We appreciate you all taking the time to talk to us about deployment support services. Join us next week as we hear about childcare. And thank you all. I guess our thoughts for today are get real and be kind. Thank you all. Have a great day.